I'm Laura, 32, sitting alone in my Chicago apartment. The silence is deafening. The events of that Thanksgiving dinner still play like a movie in my mind, each frame filled with pain, anger, and a glimmer of hope. The key to my childhood home, which I've kept in my purse for years, feels heavy, like a weight of unspoken words and buried emotions. It all started when I received a call from my mom, Helen. She's 60, a retired schoolteacher with a heart as big as the sky, but a stubborn streak as wide as the ocean. Her voice on the phone was warm, a tone I hadn't heard in years. "Laura, honey, we're having Thanksgiving dinner. Everyone will be there. It would mean the world to have you home." I hesitated for a moment, the memories of feeling like an outsider flooding back. But this time, I thought things would be different. I had worked so hard in the past 3 years. I was now the marketing director at a Fortune 500 company, managing a team of 15 and handling campaigns with budgets that could make my hometown blush. My salary was in the six figures, and I had an apartment overlooking Lake Michigan. I decided to go, to show my family that I had made something of myself. I spent days preparing for this visit. I bought a beautiful antique photo album for Helen, thinking she could fill it with family pictures and we could share memories over video calls. For my oldest sister, Lily, who's 36 and a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids, I got a set of high-end cookware. My middle sister, Grace, 34, a police officer, received a weekend getaway package at a spa resort. And for my brother, Ethan, 33, who runs his own landscaping business, I bought a state of the art lawnmower. I booked a first-class flight and rented a sleek silver Mercedes. The night before my flight, I called my best friend, Mia. "Mia, I'm so excited. This is my chance to finally be accepted by my family." Mia, who had witnessed my family disappointments over the years, was cautious. "Laura, I'm happy for you, but don't expect too much. People don't change overnight." I brushed off her concerns. "When they see my success, they'll have to respect me." As the plane landed in my hometown, I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The Mercedes purred as I drove through the familiar streets. When I pulled into the driveway of my childhood home, it looked the same as ever. The old 2-story house with a slightly tilted mailbox and an overgrown garden. The front door opened, and there was Helen, wearing her favorite purple shawl. She gave me a hug, but it felt a bit forced. "Laura, you're here. You look different." I forced a smile. "Thanks, Mom. I brought gifts for everyone." They're in the car. Inside, the living room was filled with chaos. Lily's kids were running around, screaming and laughing. Lily emerged from the kitchen, looking frazzled but with a smile on her face. "Laura." "Oh my goodness, look at you." Grace arrived soon after, still in her police uniform. "Sorry I'm late. Work got crazy." She gave me a quick hug and said, "You look great. How was the flight?" I replied, "First class." It was amazing. As soon as the words left my mouth, I regretted them. Grace raised an eyebrow, and I could tell she thought I was bragging. Ethan and his wife, Sarah, 32, a kindergarten teacher, arrived next. Ethan gave me a big hug. "Laura, it's so good to see you." "Sarah, this is my sister, the big city girl." Sarah smiled shyly. After we settled in, I decided it was time to present the gifts. Helen looked at the photo album and said, "You really didn't need to do this. It must have been expensive." I said, "I wanted to. I thought we could have more memories together." Lily's kids were ecstatic about their gifts, but Lily kept saying, "This is too much, Laura. You shouldn't have spent so much." Grace loved the spa package but immediately said, "I probably won't have time to use it anytime soon." Ethan and Sarah were grateful for the lawnmower, but Sarah whispered, "Our shed might be too small for it." As the gift giving ended, I tried to steer the conversation to my work. I just got promoted again. I'm now in charge of the entire Midwest region for our campaigns. Helen nodded and said, "That's nice, dear. But how about finding a good man and starting a family?" I felt my heart sink. I tried again. My team just landed a contract that will create over 200 new jobs in Ohio and Michigan. Lily, who was trying to calm her kids, listened and said, "That's great, Laura. But taking care of your own family is more important." The conversation quickly shifted to Lily's kids' school activities, Grace's latest police cases, and Ethan's landscaping projects. I felt like an outsider again, my achievements reduced to a footnote. Then I noticed the house needed some repairs. The roof was leaking, and the front steps were wobbly. I said, "Mom, I can help with the repairs. I can easily cover the costs." The room went silent. Helen looked at me with a cold expression. "Laura, we don't need your charity. We've managed just fine without you." I was stunned. "Mom, it's not charity. It's family helping family." Lily jumped in. "Laura, we appreciate the offer, but we're not a charity case." I felt my cheeks burning. The rest of the afternoon was filled with polite but strained conversation. As evening approached, it was time for dinner. Grace was setting the table. I counted the chairs. There were only 7 for 8 people. "Grace, I think you missed a place setting." Grace looked at me and said, "Oh, the kids are eating in the living room. You can use the old stool from the kitchen." I stared at her, my heart pounding. "I prefer to sit at the main table with everyone." Lily called from the kitchen. "The stool is fine, Laura. It's just for one night." I felt a cold chill run down my spine. They hadn't really prepared for me. My gifts, my success, it all meant nothing to them. During dinner, the conversation flowed around me. Lily talked about her volunteer work at the school. Helen praised her for being such a devoted mother. Grace shared stories about a dangerous arrest she made, and Helen beamed with pride. Ethan talked about his new landscaping project, and Helen nodded approvingly. I finally couldn't take it anymore. I have some exciting news about work. This campaign will really make a difference in the community. Helen sighed. "Laura, money isn't everything. There are more important things in life." Grace said, "Your work is so far away. We're here, making a real difference in people's lives every day." Ethan tried to defend me. "What Laura does is important too. Creating jobs is a big deal." But Lily laughed. "Ethan, you're so naive. There's a difference between caring about people and caring about profit." That was the last straw. I took a deep breath and said, "Since we're talking about caring, I should tell you that I've been sending money home for 2 years. I've been paying the electric bill, the water bill, and even the groceries so Mom doesn't have to worry about her fixed income." The table went silent. Everyone stared at me in shock. Helen's face turned red with anger. "How dare you? You think you can buy your way into this family?" I felt my anger rising. "I did it because I love you all. I wanted Mom to have security. But you've never appreciated me, always making me feel like an outsider." Grace said, "You moved away. You cut off contact. And now you think you can come back and act like a hero?" I stood up, my hands shaking. "You don't understand. I've been supporting this family in silence. You were on the verge of losing this house. Mom had to sell it 2 years ago to pay for her medical bills, and I've been paying the rent so you don't get evicted." Lily gasped. "Mom, is this true?" Helen couldn't meet our eyes. "It wasn't supposed to be like this. I thought I could manage." I continued. "Grace, you're a police officer, but you're barely making ends meet. Lily, you're raising 3 kids on 1 income. Ethan, you're just starting your business. Could any of you have covered the rent and utilities?" The truth hit them like a ton of bricks. Helen was crying. "Laura, you should have told us." I laughed bitterly. "I tried to help quietly, to be a part of this family. But you never saw me. You only saw the daughter who left for the big city." I pulled out my phone and said, "I'm canceling all the automatic payments. You said you didn't need my money, so prove it." Helen pleaded, "Laura, don't do this. We can work it out." I looked at her, my eyes filled with tears. "It's too late. I'm going to my hotel. Tomorrow, I'm going back to Chicago. You all need to figure out how to be a family without me." I grabbed my purse and the key to my childhood home, which now seemed like a symbol of a broken relationship. As I walked out the door, I heard Helen sobbing behind me. Back at the hotel, I tossed and turned all night. The key in my purse seemed to mock me. Had I done the right thing? Was I too harsh? On Monday, I was back at work, trying to focus on my projects. But my mind was still back home. Then on Tuesday evening, my phone rang. It was Helen. "Laura," she said, her voice weak and trembling. "I went to the bank today. I had no idea how much you were covering. I'm so sorry. We were all wrong." I listened in silence, the tears streaming down my face. She continued. "Beverly, Lily, and Ethan came over. We sat down and looked at all the bills. We realized how much you've been sacrificing for us. Laura, you're the one who's been holding this family together." I finally found my voice. "Mom, I just wanted to be loved and respected." Helen said, "I know, honey, and we're going to make it right. No more secrets, no more ignoring your feelings." Over the next few weeks, we had several family meetings. Lily admitted that she was jealous of my success. Grace said she was defensive about her own career choices. Ethan said he was too intimidated to reach out. We worked out a new arrangement. I agreed to continue helping with major expenses, but not alone. Lily got a part-time job at a local bookstore. Grace picked up extra shifts when she could. Ethan and Sarah saved more money from their business. 6 months later, I went home for Lily's birthday. As I walked into the house, I saw a new chair at the dinner table, right next to Helen. Helen took my hand and said, "Laura, thank you for showing us what it means to be a family. You deserve a seat at this table always." I sat down, looking at my family. The key to my childhood home, which I had almost thrown away, now felt like a symbol of a new beginning. I knew that the road ahead would still be bumpy, but for the first time in a long time, I felt like I truly belonged.